You issued 24 million new shares of stock.
You were told that if new investors
How
came
much
along...
were your shares diluted? How much were his?
What does that even mean? My name is Dennis. I work at a venture capital fund, and I talk about the things that startup founders, investors, and tech employees need to know. Let's learn about dilution in 60 seconds. Imagine you have two friends, best friends, and they decide to start a business. So the company issues 10 new shares of stock. Elon takes 5, Sam takes 5. So they each own 50% of the business. They look around and find a venture investor. That's Mark Andreessen at Andreessen Horowitz. He decides to invest $5 million at a $5 million pre-money valuation or $10 million post-money valuation. And we can talk about what that means in a future video. But basically, this is where one of the big misconceptions in venture happens. He doesn't buy shares that exist already. Instead, he has new shares issued. And so he gets 10 shares from the company that are brand new, and he owns those. And then Sam and Elon still own their original 5. But now Sam and Elon only own 25% of the company each because their 5 is divided by a total of 20 shares. So they got diluted by 50% because their ownership went down by half, right? From 50% to 25%. If the company sells for $100 million, Sam gets $25 million, Elon gets $25 million, and Mark gets $50 million. Now, if you're a founder, you need to believe that the fundraise that you're doing justifies the dilution you're going to take because the overall size of the outcome is going to grow enough that it justifies the dilution. So even though your percentage ownership is smaller, the percentage ownership is within a larger company. And if you're an investor, you need to believe that the company is going to be capital efficient enough that you're not going to get diluted down by future rounds of financing where other investors come in, so much that you don't make any money off your investment. And then lastly, if you're an employee at a startup, you need to realize that there's a chance that the dilution that comes from raising too much capital can wipe out your ownership. And there's a reason why a lot of venture capital funds actually will not invest in hardware, and it's because of dilution, because hardware companies are very expensive. It takes a lot of money to build them. And so if you're building a robotics company, you might have to raise 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 rounds of financing. A lot of small or mid-sized venture capital funds can't handle that kind of dilution because in order to maintain their ownership, they have to keep putting in more capital into the future rounds, and maybe they aren't able to do that. Now, there's famous examples of founders who actually got diluted really heavily. Like, for example, Pandora ended up having to raise a lot of money because there was a lot of like IP challenges that they had to navigate, and by the time they got to IPO, the founder only owned 3% of the business. So be mindful of dilution. Let me know what video you want to see next. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments and I'll make sure I answer them.